Hello everyone, I'm Eve, and welcome to this week's True presentation. The topic of this week is social construction of ideas. You might wondering the idea comes from our own mind and is different from individual, how it could be constructed by society. Before I get into this topic, let's just imagine if all the things we consider as right becomes wrong, and wrong things becomes right, what would you think the world will be? And all the ideas we take for granted change into the different way. What would you think the cause of that result? And our ideas change, is that due to the social change? And all the ideas rooted in our mind, is that shaped by the society? And you might also think that it seems reasonable because every time you surf on the internet and you can find all the people are seems to discuss one or two popular things. You can also find we basically have the same value about what is right and what is wrong fitting with the mainstream society. Our ideas sometimes seems not belong to ourselves, but the consensus of the whole society. According to Naiman, ideology is a type of assumption that include ideas, value about the world. And there are two ways how ruling class drives people's idea. One is through mass media, and we can see from global view that ownership of mass media usually gathered in only few groups' hands. The news reporting we see every day is sending very similar perspective. The news of homeless people, they are trying to reflect on these people are not hardworking and they are lazy, therefore they are losing their jobs. But hiding the reasons, maybe racial discrimination causes stress of dropping out from school and they therefore losing the jobs. Looking at this advertisement on social media or on the wall of the mall or on the buildings that we are seeing every day. It is a trick of consumerism and the bigger corporation that want us to spend more money, want us to shape aesthetic appreciation in their ways. So we want to have more clothing, we want to buy luxuries that we actually don't need them. And we want to have fancy car. We want to mimic the celebrity that constantly appears on the social media. And these are ideas serve for the people who have control over the medium. So they hold the resource and capital, consolidate the ruling positions. While the public are closed into this unbalanced information situation, they are not able to really understand what is actually happening around the world. Taking an example of wearing masks during the COVID pandemic, when the virus first started to spread globally, I remember it's in March of last year. My friend and I was wearing face mask and whenever we went out to public area. The reason is simple. Wearing mask is an effective way to prevent COVID-19 spread between peoples. And I just want to protect myself and others. But a few days later, I was hoping I can stay at home all the time because every time, I really mean it's every time, when I went out, I received unfriendly eye contact and verbal discrimination or even physical violence from strangers, which means being hit by another person. But no worries, I was called the police at that time. I find not even one single article, news, or specialist suggest people to wear face mask. I was also listen to the local radio that one expert said we should not wear face mask because it can increase the chance of infection. Because wearing face mask means you constantly touch your face and therefore increase the infections. So I thought I was really maybe wrong about its insistence to wear a mask. I was questioning myself, I was questioning my ideology in this medium environment. If you can try to think the mass media from my perspective, you might easily understand it is really powerful. It is really, really powerful to manipulate ideas of people. And another tool that is also powerful to construct our ideas is the education system. School transmits ideas, values, or norms of the dominant culture. Think about what we learn from our educational experience. Besides knowledge, punctuation means you should not late for class, for school, for any assignment. And academic honesty means to respect and follow the authority. According to Naiman, these educations make students a good worker in their futures. Also, these days, more and more jobs want people have higher education degrees. That is actually the positions is not using the knowledge from the high education. The credentialism situation in our society is actually hiding the social inequality that cause people stuck in their class and strengthen the importance of the individual's ability to attend to school and their own ability to get higher grades, higher education. Seems very fair because we have public education here and the education for everyone. But is that true that we all have the fair equal education? We know there are public school as well as the private school. If every children in whichever school receive the same quality education, why there are so many parents hope to spend more money to send their children to private school? Education in Canada is also dividing into different classes. Children are attending to school based on their families. These remind me a documentary that I saw years ago called Waiting for Superman. It illustrates the current situation of American education system. Many children only able to attend public school that near their living blocks, and there are some street blocks that only black people live. In these areas, there are no quality public school, and after graduate from this school, these children are most likely to get into a bad middle school and in that block, which have the highest dropout rate of that city. These blocks also gathering many criminals who have usually dropped out from the school. It becomes an infinite loop that restricting the children who live there and want to have a better education. More ironic, what a state spends on a prisoner every 4 years is enough to send a child through kindergarten to 12th grade in private school, and then left more than $20,000 for college. We are facing the society that is still inequality in lots of different aspects. Ideology is the instrument of domination for ruling class. It legalizes the power and privilege of ruling class. According to Marx, ideology convinces all the people that the interest of ruling class is the interest for all the people, which through control over mass media and education system. And because it's moderated and use force, people are accepting the unequal power relationship. And thanks for your listening. Here are two discussion questions for you. First of all, do you think that people are all have free will to decide what we believe, what to do, or is that ideology is actually shaped by the whole society? And why do you think that? And the second is, how do you think mass media and the education system can manipulate people's ideology in Canadian society? Can you use some examples to support that?
Apologize for any part if you find it's unclear or hard to understand. Feel free to ask me if you have any further questions. So enjoy the discussion and happy Monday.